this is starting off right at the front of the building. So this is our new front block. This is about three years old now. So another investment that the college has made to the Wisbech campus. So this is where all the students come in, and you'll enter in through the main reception area where student advice is there, student support, going into the LRC where there's computers that you can book out, there's quiet areas that you can use and learning. We're now over to the tech block, the technology centre. So that was, I've already mentioned there's been a large investment in there with the building and equipment in there. I think that was about £7.5 million was invested in that. Within there's classrooms and engineering workshops. We've gone straight into the body and paint workshop there. So Gary's bit earlier on told you a little bit more about what goes on in there, and as you can see, and as Gary said, there's real jobs. So that I think that's Gary's car there. He tells me it's some sort of escort. I don't really know much about escorts and things, so apparently it's a quite nice one. So but the students have been doing the work on that, and they're doing a really good job of it as well. So that's inside the spray booth. There was, I think on Gary's video as well, they were showing a VW Beetle that they'd been working on as well. And around that time, they managed to get the front of a VW camper van, I think it is. And 2 students did the paint work on that and made that into the workshop clock. And next to that, there was a bonnet. And as you can see, there's 2 or 3 bonnets around where they do some practice on different things and different styles of bit of artwork, really. So now we're into the motor vehicle workshop. And again, you can see, and as Zane said, we're working on real live cars there. So there's a staff member's car there. There's a couple of college cars we use. Zane was talking about the ramps and the lifts that we have in there as well. I think he mentioned the MOT testing bay. So that bit on show there is a full MOT testing bay. And as Zane did say, we don't do MOTs, but we can train students on the sort of the requirements of that. He also mentioned there the sort of modern wheel balancing, tyre changing equipment that we have in there. Up until last year, we actually had our own racing team as well, and that's what that Mini's doing there. So the motorsport students and the motor vehicle students basically built that racing Mini. They took a road-going car, stripped it down, made it race ready. Gary's students then painted it up in the race colours, and we ended up racing the Mini. And when you get into college and look in the main reception area, there's a cabinet there with all the trophies that we've won over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Right, we're now into the welding workshop. So in the welding workshop, there's 16 bays, I think it is, in there, mainly teaching 3 different processes. So we have MIG, metal inert gas, TIG, tungsten inert gas, and MMA, manual metal arc. I think Simon was talking about that from an engineering point of view as well. We also do some plasma and gas cutting in that area as well as part of the engineering course. There's an awful lot of engineering companies around our area that do sort of that fabrication and welding type work. Quite surprisingly, really, people don't know that. So we're now into the fabrication workshop. We've just passed a couple of bits of equipment there, some nice modern equipment. This area is basically used for the fabrication side. So bending, shaping, forming metal, joining metal. I think we'll come across a spot welder and things in a moment. We have it's all industry standard tools and equipment for you to learn your trade with. So what we've got there. So there was some other welding equipment that's kept in that workshop. There's things like the guillotine, the press brake in there that you're trained to use on, and some of this equipment is industry standard, as we've said. So if you went on your work experience or going to a job in these areas or gain an apprenticeship, you'll be using very similar equipment. one of the key things that we focus on is sort of quality and high standards. Gary mentioned that in the paint and body bit that he was talking about, but this is what employers want to see, and this is what we really do promote. So in this machining area here, we're just looking at some centre lathes there for turning. We also do, there's a couple of milling machines coming up as well. So milling and turning in sort of an old-fashioned sort of way. You do it manually, you do it by hand, you turn sort of levers and knobs and things, and then you have to measure it manually. Looking now, we've got a couple of CNC machines, one mill and one lathe, and this is a bit different now. So CNC stands for computer numerical control. So what you're basically doing is you design it in a CAD room, and here's our CAD room. You do a drawing in something like SolidWorks or AutoCAD, which again is industry standard, and then you do a program which then makes the component for you in the CNC lathe or mill. We're now into our maintenance workshop. So in here, you do things like work on gears, bearings, setting up motors, linkages, also hydraulics, and there's some pneumatics, I think, on the board at the moment, controlled by PLCs. And here we have, basically it's a soap machine. It's a full factory soap machine that the students get running. We put some faults on there, and they have to do some fault finding, and then also repair those faults and